What up, mixed reactions? It's Wing Wednesday, I'm pretty sure. I gotta go see if they have any deals at Buffalo Wild Wings and Wingstop. I'm with Justin, Casey, and then Josh is gonna be joining us for the second part. How you doing today, Josh?
I'm doing all right. As you know, Ian, I'm starting a new job and I've been going to training every day for the last 2 weeks. And it's about collectively with all the traffic, it's about like 4+ hours of driving all these days. So I'm just kind of hanging on by a thread. That training's almost over and trying to get through the rest of the week. But yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm glad that football's back. We're in preseason form, if you will, and I'm ready to get it cracking for the season.
Yeah, and that's the first thing that because me, Justin, and Casey addressed it for our teams in the first segment. Just what are some things that you noticed about the Steelers, and just talk briefly just about the Steelers so far.
Yeah, we played against the Saints, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Packer.
Packers, that's right, Packers. I saw something about the Saints practice fight. So yes, Packers. We played against the Packers. Um, and of course, most of the number ones weren't playing, as expected. You're not going to have Aaron Rodgers going into his last season or the vets like Cam Hayward and TJ Watt play the first game. It's really for the beginning of the preseason. The first couple, I mean, I guess the whole preseason is figuring out filling out the rest of the roster where there's some question marks on who's going to make the team or not, and just kind of what kind of roles are going to be filled and stuff. But I was with all that with that being said, I believe Mason Rudolph got the start. I think he's sort of earned the preseason start a little bit. He's been around for 8 seasons, 7 of them with the Steelers. He had that one lone season with the Titans, but he came back. And I think last year he was our number two. I think Aaron Rodgers missed a game or two, and Mason Rudolph came in and played. But I could take or leave Mason Rudolph, but now that we have these two young quarterbacks that we drafted in the last 2 years with Will Howard, he was in the like fifth round or something like that, and Drew Aller this year was a third round pick, I think, like third or fourth round. But it's pretty encouraging to see the Steelers actually start to finally go and think about the future at the quarterback position, because honestly, that's been the most stressful thing about my Steelers these last few years is the quarterback play and the up and down nature of it. That's what's been really, I feel like, holding us back, because the defense is always fully capable and oftentimes, more often than not, like better than average defense. When you got guys like TJ and Cam Hayward, and an improved secondary, we had Jalen Ramsey pop off last year. So the defense is always going to do their thing and do their job. But just not having a long term answer at quarterback has always been a little stressful. So seeing Mason Rudolph get that start, whatever he played, however long he did, I know that he's not the future. It's Drew Aller and or Will Howard are the future. But they played pretty well. Will Howard had a few drives, but I think people are talking about Drew Aller and how he played as one of the more impressive um, rookie quarterback performances in that first week of preseason action. And like, yes, while preseason is used for a lot of things. It's used for the older veteran guys to get some rest, and you always see the quarterback or someone like Cam Hayward on the sideline with like a headset on, trying to, you know, tell these guys what to do and help guide them and stuff to try to hopefully make that 53-man roster and just, weed out who's going to make it and who's not going to make it. But it's also so like that's the purpose it serves for the veterans, but then also for, like I said, obviously the younger guys are able to come in and get their feet wet. And I'm pretty encouraged by how Drew Aller did. Like I don't think DK Metcalf or Michael Pittman played, but also our rookie receiver Jeremy Bernard from Alabama, he might have been our third round pick, and Drew Aller was like fourth round or something. But anyways, I like how Jeremy Bernard looked. Um, you know, I think as if they, I think it's a good philosophy for the Steelers to finally have after, we were not prepared for Big Ben to retire, and he did, and we didn't really have a long term plan. So I think now that like I said, it's going to be great to see that connection eventually that Aaron Rodgers has with Mike McCarthy, but just a different sort of like philosophy of coaching. Like the only coach I've ever known as a Steelers fan is Mike Tomlin. So I'm excited to see, and because I'm pretty sure Mike McCarthy was there for the end of Favre into Aaron Rodgers era, if I'm not mistaken. Does that sound about right? in Green Bay. Yes, yeah. So like, so who knows? Like, not to say that Drew Aller or Will Howard is Aaron Rodgers already, because you can't even make that prediction yet. But it's sort of a similar situation where you got Aaron Rodgers, who is still more than serviceable, and I don't think he's going to go and lose us any games. But for both those guys I feel like that's a good problem to have going into the 2027 season. However this season goes with Aaron Rodgers as a full time starter, we'll see how that goes. We'll see how it plays out. It could go this way. It can go up or down. We'll see how it goes. But one thing that it's going to be is very beneficial for two highly touted like quarterbacks coming out of college, and Will Howard and Drew Aller, to be able to learn under him for a year. And I'm very encouraged by what I saw, especially from Drew Aller. And I think that's just a great change in philosophy for the organization that just hasn't been there. They'd like to hold. We held on to Mike Tomlin and don't get me wrong, I love Coach Tomlin. Like, he's an all-time great Hall of Fame coach. He's going to be in there for sure. But I think letting him go was the first sign of like progression, and the franchise is going to move forward a little bit because yeah, basically, I feel like I'm saying the same thing over and over again. But all in all, I'm encouraged by what I saw from our young players, and not to say that I don't really predict that that Drew Aller's gonna be. I mean, barring injury, you never want to see anybody get hurt. But like, I think that if he's got Mike McCarthy to learn under, as well as just having the best seat in the house to watch Aaron Rodgers do what he does and still dot guys up down the field, and the talent that he clearly still has, like, I'm pretty optimistic not only for like this season, got my fingers crossed that it's gonna go good, but like beyond as
Are
well.
you concerned at all that the Steelers seem to be, and this has kind of been their mantra of hitching their wagons on their defense? And you got Jalen Ramsey, Cam Hayward, and TJ Watt, who are all beyond their prime years and probably going into their last years. Are you concerned that
Uh,
they're hitching their wagons too heavily on those guys who are probably 1 or 2 years away from retirement?
maybe I don't know if concerned is the right word, but it's now that you say that, it's kind of on my radar a little bit, just knowing that like his even I feel like TJ doesn't really put up the big crazy numbers anymore, but you still see how much of a game wrecker he is. Cam
He's
Hayward
respect,
still
sure, absolutely.
Yeah, Cam Hayward still does what he does, but that is something to consider. Like, I don't foresee. I feel like TJ might end up retiring kind of young, like JJ Watt did, like his brother did, especially if the Steelers don't especially if we don't start making deep playoff runs. I think he'd be well in his right to, or maybe he goes somewhere. Who knows what the future holds as far as that goes? But like, yeah, we do have a lot of veteran guys, but I think that they've done a good job in drafting defense for the most part. Last few years, they've done good in drafting defense. The guy that I look at, or the two guys that I really look at, is Alex Highsmith and Joey Porter Jr. Having those guys as building blocks for the future, that
Mm-hmm.
is crucial. Like, like that's why I'm not too concerned about the defense, how it's gonna. Like, I think our downfall has always been the secondary. We get good pressure most of the time, and like our linebacker plays always. We have Patrick Queen now as well, and a young guy who I really love is Nick Herbig too. I feel like just like Highsmith, but even like quicker and more agile. I'll try with my sound effects of being like swim moves and stuff. but
Mhm.
um,
Keep in mind,
but
TJ
like
Watt's only 31. Like, I think
yeah,
TJ Watt could still have a few good years left in him, Dustin. I don't think he's 1 or 2 years away from retirement.
The reason why I say he's maybe 1 or 2 years is because of his injury propensity.
That's fair.
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I think you probably have a better case for Cam Hayward being a year or two away from retirement, because he literally got drafted in like 2010 or 2011. His first season he played on that Steelers team against the Packers, so he's
And
up there. He's definitely.
Jalen Ramsey's the same age as TJ Watt, isn't he?
I think so. I think they might have been from the same draft. And Jalen Ramsey just last season they moved him to safety, and he had like an All Pro year at safety. So like he's like, I remember the season they really set the season off right. That Week 1 game against the Jets. No reason we should have been that close to. The score should have been that close with the Jets, but regardless, it was coming down to the end, and Justin Fields tried to dump it off to Garrett Wilson, tried to get a first down, and when Jalen Ramsey like laid that hit and knocked the ball free, like, and that won us. That was like a fourth down, and that won us the game. Like, that showed me that, like, okay, Jalen Ramsey's a perfect fit for the team, and he's doing it at like safety after having so many like Pro Bowl years at cornerback. Like, I know he was on the Rams, so Ian's familiar with
I
him,
think
and
he won a
um,
Super Bowl with us. Yeah, I mean, he was in that huge trade that we did when we
Yeah,
said
he
or
won.
did
FM
he?
picks.
or did he play on the Super Bowl team against the Patriots?
No,
No,
he
No.
was he was
he won the Super Bowl. He was in the on the Super Bowl winning team.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, that was back when he was on the Jaguars back in like 2019, 20, I
Yep,
think. Yeah.
Yeah.
was he on
But
the Blake Bortles team that almost beat the Patriots? He
he was.
was.
Yeah.
He was.
Yes.
Yes,
he
Duval,
was a
yeah.
he was a young phenom on that team. Like that
I
Saxonville,
think
man. Talk
19.
about some.
I think what was it? 17 or 8? That was 17. I believe.
20,
Yeah.
2018 because the Eagle well, the year was 28. The year the game was played, it was 2018. It was 2017 season because the Eagles proceeded
Yes.
to beat the
Yeah,
Patriots in the Super Bowl.
right. I think that may have been either Ramsey's either rookie or sophomore year.
He
Yeah.
Ramsey was young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I don't. Hayward's the only player in that Justin mentioned that I feel is 1 or 2 years away from retirement. I mean, TJ potentially due to injuries, but like Josh said, Jalen Ramsey just had an all-pro season at safety. I mean, the Steelers are
If they
definitely a
had
team that I
moved
think
him,
are
then he'd
still
be
going to.
there. He'd be at that point. I didn't know they had moved him to safety. So there's that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I think.
like Joey Porter Jr. is very promising. Like I love watching him play. He plays like
Yep.
a Steeler. He's got that. I feel like he'd probably be inclined to want to stay because he has the ties with his dad playing for the Steelers for so long and winning Super Bowls with us. So like I don't know. I like the direction. Like I'm glad that the offense is kind of like the moves that Omar Khan, the GM, is making. I'm glad the offense is kind of starting. They're kind of starting to catch up to drafting more quarterbacks and then picking. I think Jeremy Bernard is like he might be the highest receiver we've drafted. If he was in like the second round, maybe he might be the highest receiver we've drafted since like James Washington from some years back, and maybe Juju Smith. Nah, Juju Smith Schuster was like 2017 drafts, but yeah, like so I'm excited for that. But I'm just glad that the philosophy that the moves that the front office is making is like trying to put together like a really competent team and taking risks. Like the Steelers don't make when they went and did we? I don't remember if we signed or traded for DK, like traded some picks for DK.
That
Might have
was a
been a free
sign
agent
trade.
signing. Yeah, something like that. But they gave him like a big contract, and that was like a really big, like splashy move that they made. Steelers aren't really known for doing that, so I think like they're starting to take risks and they're starting to take gambles, which I like. It could go. I mean, because DK Metcalf is still a more than capable wide receiver one, but then in this offseason, you go and get Michael Pittman Jr. as well, and who just left? Who we had? So Jalen Warren is here still. Who was our other running back that just left? We had Kenneth
Gainwell.
Gainwell for a year. Kenneth Gainwell left. And he was like low key the team's off. I think the team voted him like MVP of the Steelers for the season because he's such a Swiss Army knife catching out the backfield and stuff like that. But then you go and I feel like Rico Dowdle was better than Kenneth Gainwell. So like just making improvements and leveling up at most positions. That's why that gets me excited for. I'm not going to keep my hopes too high because I feel like the Ravens are probably still better overall. But then making those steps and having better above average quarterback play from like a competency standpoint, as far as like not losing you games and making terrible decisions to lose you a game. That's what's got me hyped.
It should. That's one of the reasons why I said last week. I feel like Michael Pittman is one of the more underrated signings of the offseason because with a combination like him and Metcalf, all you need is a little bit above average quarterback play from Aaron Rodgers, and you're going to have one of the better tandems, top 8 tandems in the league with those two.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
should.
most definitely.
Um. Yeah. No. And wait. You guys can hear me, right?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
good.
Okay. Cool. My bad. My thing just went away. Yeah. No. I'm excited to see what the Steelers are going to do as well. Especially imagine if McCarthy wins the Super Bowl with Rodgers with the Packers and then goes back. That'd be funny if somehow he goes back to the Steelers, goes to the Steelers, wins one with Rodgers against the Packers. Packers
That would
won't
be
be in
funny.
there, but that would
That
be
would be funny. But that would also mean that your Rams got bounced again.
yeah, no, and I
And
don't
this is
know,
the
man.
last year for the Rams window, Ian, with Stafford. This is the last year with
This
their
is the
window.
last hurrah. Absolutely is. Even if Darnold comes back. Aaron
I
Donald.
and Ty Simpson I trust.
Ty
But
Ty
Simpson
was
looked pretty
phenomenal.
good too, though.
mhm.
I think Ty, Fernando Mendoza, and Drew Aller, I think were the best 3 rookie quarterbacks from this past week 1 preseason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's and we're chugging along in preseason, which let me see. I don't know if there's any games on. Well, it's what Wednesday. It might be a game on tonight.
There's not. They starts tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Taking a little detour away from football though, just for a second. The 2026 Basketball Hall of Fame class was announced this past weekend, August 15th. And before I get into the nominees,
Okay.
into all of them, why is Doc Rivers and he won 1180 games. I get it.
That's
'Cause
why.
He blew
That's why.
like four yeah, I guess. I mean, that's
but he's
longevity.
also a champion, Ian. He's a champion. He won
He
a title as
won
a head
one
coach.
championship with a
A
loaded
championship's a
team.
championship. It doesn't matter.
He
Championship's a
won
championship.
one.
A championship is a championship, Ian.
Chip's the chip. Doesn't matter how you got it.
I could have coached the Warriors when they had KD. Everybody would discredit it. We should discredit his chance. He blew four or five, 3-1
What?
leads.
No,
He
not
got
that many.
fired
Maybe
from
three.
Orlando.
Maybe
Huh?
like three. Maybe like three.
Four.
4 or 5 is crazy. Okay, maybe four, but
Four.
you're pushing your luck on five.
This is coming from a man who is a Celtics fan through and through that really doesn't like Doc Rivers all too much, but still acknowledges, especially from the most friendly Hall of Fame in professional sports,
Yeah.
he deserves to be in the Pro Basketball Hall of Fame.
I was gonna say that. I mean, if we are measured against the criteria we do everybody else, I guess he deserves it because I mean, it's
It's
the
a,
Now,
Hall of
it's
really good is
Ian.
what it's
Now
turning.
tell me. Do you think that you're? Wait, can you hear me or no?
Yeah.
yeah, we're good.
Okay. Tell me if you think. Do you think that you being the diehard Clippers fan that you are, do you think the fact that the Clippers never got over the hump with Doc as the coach, do you think that sort of clouds your
It doesn't cloud anything because when
Yes,
Tyronn
it
Lue got
does.
there, no, because when Tyronn Lue get there, we instantly make the conference finals.
instantly? I don't know.
Maybe it
Y'all
was
blew
one
it.
year after because I think Doc
Ty
got
Lue.
fired after 2020.
Hey, guess what? Ty Lue was coaching the team when the Clippers blew a 3-1 lead in the bubble to the Chicken Nuggies.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, he was.
Doc
Yeah, he
Rivers was
was.
there
That might
for. No,
that was
Doc
his first
Rivers was
year.
coaching Milwaukee, and they lost. Hold on, let me see.
This is
Clippers.
crucial. This is crucial to my argument. So please,
Pretty
please
sure Tyloo was the Clippers coach at that time. At that point.
I'm gonna figure. I'm gonna get to the
It's all
bottom
right.
of your fucking bullshit.
Nobody was beating the Lakers in the bubble anyway, so it's okay. It
Let
doesn't
me
matter.
Oh
see.
God, no, they were the
From
best team hands down.
okay,
Yeah.
so it was Ty. No, Tyronn Lue took over in 2021. Doc
Uh,
Rivers.
okay.
Yeah, so it was
Still
Doc
though,
Rivers.
so
Oh,
so I
and
guess
then
it does, but I mean I feel like it does sort of
literally the
that
next year with 2021, we
yeah.
made then we lost to Chris Paul's Sons, and that's because we just
Speak
choked
Oh
the
yeah.
game on.
Speaking of bubble basketball, with the way right when you said that, it brought me back to the bubble. Do y'all remember that game 7 between Utah and
Denver.
Denver,
Denver? Utah and Denver. That back and forth between Donovan Mitchell and Jamal Murray was such
Ridiculous.
special basketball.
and
That
then
was
he missed the
crazy.
shot at the end. I think Mitchell did, and it went in and out. He had like 50
They
something.
Those were there were so many like memorable moments from the bubble. Like it was
T.J.
ridiculous.
Warren going nuclear.
TJ Warren, bubble hoops.
Bam
Um,
Adebayo not beating the Celtics by a fingertip. A
yeah,
fucking
like
fingertip.
this.
We don't, Justin. We don't got to
Um,
talk about that. That's not a
I
topic of
was
discussion.
I would never find myself rooting for the Celtics for anything, but part of me was sort of hoping that they won that. I was confident Lakers were going to beat anybody, but that would have been kind of cool to see a Lakers versus Celtics like in the bubble for that like chapter of the rivalry. That would have been kind of cool
Yeah, that'd have been.
um,
The
to
NBA
happen.
needs
But
another Celtics Lakers finals. It really does.
I think so too. Luca had his
You
game
do realize
winner
that this
again.
year's Lakers team is like the Minneapolis Lakers.
No time, the snow time Lakers, if you will. Um, I think also Ian. Sorry, Luca had his buzzer beater over the Clippers. I think. Yeah, and
Oh, when he
yeah
was in
Yeah, he
Dallas,
did.
I forgot about in the
Yeah,
bubble.
yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
and
Anthony
then
Davis had a buzzer beater. Danny Green had a buzzer beater.
that was ridiculous. When
Oh,
I remember, so I was working at an Amazon warehouse at the time, and I had hurt my hip a little bit. I got home, so I was hobbling around a little bit. I had got home to watch the game. I was like had it playing on my phone on the way home, and I got back in like the middle of the fourth quarter, back and forth game, and then they give it to AD, and I'm watching like this on the edge of my seat, and he shoots it, and he made it. Buzzer beater times off, and I'm like hopping around my house, just going crazy because he just won us the freaking game. Like, just screaming.
Yeah, no, that was a wild. There was the AD shot, and fuck, there was another one. Oh no, OG
OG,
Anunoby hit a buzzer beater too
yeah, from the Raptors.
against the
Hmm.
Celtics.
Yep, against the Celtics.
Now that just reminds me of thinking of Anunoby and the Raptors. How much stock do you put? I mean, I know there's the whole now that the NBA is investigated. There's been deemed no foul play by Steve Ballmer with Kawhi's salary cap manipulation. But I don't buy it
Right.
for a second, honestly. Um, but how much stock do you put in the Clippers just consistent failures, and I mean consistent failures on the basically what I feel is one of the worst signings in the NBA history of Kawhi Leonard.
I think that we need to just cut bait, and that we're just in a. I don't know why we always play the games with Kawhi. I don't know, man.
I mean,
Ian,
Kawhi
finish out
Leonard
that
has
list. Finish out that list. You said you want to read it off. There's Doc Rivers. Who else is a finalist for the Hall of Fame?
I'm
Oh
going back
yeah,
right now, but
inductees.
yeah,
Yeah,
starting to deviate. I
they're
mean, Kawhi is just a cancer. Just get him back in Toronto and leave him alone.
yeah. I could do a whole segment on Kawhi. We have Amari Stoudemire as well, which yeah, Candace
No.
Parker definitely.
Candace Parker.
Yes.
Sure. I remember when she
Elena
was
Del.
drafted. Shit.
Wait, what did you say, Justin?
I remember when Candace Parker and Elena Deladon were drafted. Those are absolutely slam dunk Hall of Famers.
Yeah, because Elena Deladon went to Delaware. I remember that.
She's like the Steph Curry of the WNBA. She's like best women's shooter ever.
Shamika Holtzclaw. I know she was a beast. Doc Rivers, and then Mark Few. Oh, Mike D'Antoni. Which, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought
come
he was
on.
Dan,
he was one of them that made it.
You
He
gonna
was
say Doc
inducted.
Rivers should be in, but not Mike D'Antoni?
Does
Mike
D'Antoni have a
D'Antoni
ring?
wasn't. He was the head.
No.
D'Antoni does not have a ring, but wasn't he pretty revolutionary as far as the offense? Like he was the mastermind of the 7 seconds or less,
I
and
said the
then
7 seconds or less with Phoenix. Yeah, but that got him to what? One conference title?
No,
well,
zero.
then
But
he was the coach. He was the coach of Houston too when they had James Harden and Chris Paul when they went to
Right.
when.
That's what I'm saying. It got him to one conference finals.
Oh yeah, I guess. Oh, at two then I guess because of
he
Phoenix and then Houston, right?
He went to, oh, I didn't know he went to one of Phoenix. When did he
no,
do
I don't
what
think
year was
he
that?
was it the one against San. It might have been if it was against San Antonio because when Kobe slapped the coach on the butt, that was when they had Alvin Gentry.
Oh, that was already okay. Never mind. Then
So
maybe
and
he
he
did.
might have made it. I think it was the year that he got pushed into the table. I think that was the conference finals.
Was that Alvin Gentry or Mike D'Antoni?
That was Steve Nash was Mike
Okay,
D'Antoni's team.
so then one maybe two, but yeah.
No, I don't know, man. I don't like Doc Rivers,
You're
bro.
right as far as like the offensive aspect of it. He was revolutionary that way, and the spacing and the offense that he was able to dial up and produce on the floor. Absolutely agree. But I don't think it resulted in enough I don't use the word hardware because rings aren't everything. Obviously, and when
Mm.
he was the coach in Phoenix and when he was the coach in Houston, especially, they were perennial playoff contenders year in and year out. So I guess you could make the case for the Hall of Fame. I think it's not as much as a lock as Doc Rivers should be.
That's what I was about to say. That's what I think. I feel like that way as well. I feel like this is one of the few cases because, like you said, it's the Hall of Very Good, and it's not super hard to get into the Hall of Fame in the NBA. But I feel like you don't really see very many instances of it being on the fence a little bit as far as coaches go. I feel like
Yeah.
when you get coaches most of the time, it's a lock and you know for sure. Like Doc Rivers has a pretty decent case. He's got the championship and he's got the consistent success from over the years. His other shortcomings be damned, but like I think he earned his spot by being consistent and getting a championship along the way. But like Mike D'Antoni is one that's kind of on like I feel like it's sort of like I feel like that's kind of like Jamal. Tell me if this is crazy.
Put Rick
Like a
Carlisle in the Hall
comparison.
of Fame before I put Mike D'Antoni personally.
Yeah,
I think so.
he has a
I think so
yeah.
too.
Carlisle deserves it.
Yeah,
How
he does.
Carlisle deserved it.
He does.
But
And then I think wasn't also the 1996 Women's USA team was a finalist as well. I
Yeah, and
believe.
then yeah, they were. And then Joey Crawford. They should get Tim
Hey,
Donaghy in there.
oh God,
Joey Carver. Have you guys ever been to the Pro Basketball Hall of Fame in Springfield, Mass?
10 minutes, by the way. I have not.
It's underwhelming. It's
is
really
it?
cool, but
I thought you told me it was cool.
it is, but like it's not what you would expect.
For it
Like
being the Pro Basketball Hall of Fame.
Does it
that's
seem like?
exactly what forbidden.
I mean,
Does
I
it
will
seem?
tell you
Does
that
it
the
seem?
baseball Hall of Fame doesn't look like much on the outside. It looks like it looks like a end of a strip mall kind of place in a sleepy town of Cooperstown, but it's huge on the inside, absolutely massive.
The Basketball Hall of Fame, does it kind of, the way you're describing it, is it seem more like museum-y kind of, and not as like
Yeah.
grand and like big old exhibits
So
and stuff?
Yeah, so definitely a museum-y. There is a couple cool aspects to it. Like the weekend that I went, they were doing a Kobe tribute. So they had a big like dark, almost like theater room with a bunch of like Kobe highlights and Kobe memorabilia everywhere. And of course they did have a full basketball court, and I got to go down and shoot on the court for a while. That was pretty cool.
Cool.
But when you think of like a Hall of Fame, you expect some grand venue, and it just
Hmm.
wasn't that.
Yeah, as
Cooperstown,
opposed to, I feel like
Cooperstown
we're
is
always
a museum comparatively too, I would say, but
we're
it's
we're always we're always hearing about the they talk so they I feel like the NFL does a really good job of advertising the Hall of Fame as well. And from everything
Yeah.
I see from that, and it's in Canton, right? Canton, Ohio.
Yep.
Everything I
Yep.
see of that is like crazy ass exhibits, and like if a player has a record, like Alvin Kamara's 6 touchdown game from Christmas some years ago, like they have that football there or something like that. Like they have a bunch of cool shit like that.
The one thing that I regret not doing, and it's only because I didn't want to wait 3 hours and we just kind of were on a time crunch. Tony Parker was going to stop by and do like a not a sermon. That's not the word I want to use. Like a almost like a speech, I guess is the best way to put it.
a
He was
tribute
just
sort
going
of
to
thing.
come in and talk to people for a little while, but we were there pretty early and he wasn't going to be there for 3 hours, and I didn't want to wait that long.
I'd have waited.
Tony Parker. Tony Parker, the one of the top 5 French player of all time. Yeah, top 3 maybe.
Easily, easily.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember in 2007 when me and Ian. I don't know if you guys know this, if he's told this story before, but we went to France in 2007 for my uncle's wedding, and it was cool. We spent like a week out there or something. Got to see the Eiffel Tower and shit, do the
No, Ian
tourist
never
stuff.
mentioned that.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
Ian's Mr. International. But we had we had a box of like Frosted Flakes, and it had Tony Parker on the cover. Just randomly thought of that right now. It was pretty sick.
When
Because
was
back
it?
then, I feel like
When?
you know, okay, what the the Frosted Flakes? I don't know. It
In
was just
France?
us having breakfast one day. Yeah, and me being picky, I didn't want to try any of the different kind of European food. I'm like, I just want cereal, and so we had some Tony Parker Frosted Flakes.
Yeah,
I was I was uh I was 9 years old, so give me some grace.
Tony Parker was so dead. He was so good at attacking and that floater was deadly. And Tony Parker figured out that if he was just aggressive, he could get to the
Mhm.
basket. He wasn't
Yeah,
athletic like D
he's really good
Rose,
at finishing.
and he didn't have the
One of
like
my
Kyrie, but
one of the highlights that I remember from my earlier days of being like really all the way. I feel like I was started getting like really all the way locked in. Like I around like after the Lakers won the championship, or that yeah, after they won the championship in 2010, I started being so locked in. But then one of the first things I remember from being like a really huge basketball fan was the decision and everything, and forming the Heatles, and LeBron just being public enemy number one right away,
Oh yeah.
and all those finals and everything. But I don't know if it was from the year the Spurs won or not. But Tony Parker had that shot that he hit with like 2 seconds left, where he was driving, fell to his knee sort of, and got back up and like made a super clutch shot. That was some big, great basketball right there. Tell
God,
you
the
what.
Spurs were so boring to watch, man.
Yeah, but they were so efficient though, Ian. Like it was beautiful basketball.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
no, it was just
I
so
think
no, I'm just like
even then I appreciated Tim Duncan and seeing Tim Duncan do his thing. And I loved watching Manu as well, Manu Ginobili. I There was like 2015, because dude, the crazy thing is the Spurs were still in the playoffs and extremely competitive until Tim, like it was far different from Kobe's kind of retirement tour. Lakers were bad for a few years, and Kobe's like, well, it's the final season, even 20 number, or even number. And then Tim Duncan was retiring the same year, but he was still contributing. And Kawhi had probably passed him up for about a year as the best player on the Spurs, but Tim Duncan was still he was contributing to a winning team that went like pretty far in the playoffs too.
So, Ian, I know you said we're running out of time. So let's just go around the table real quick here, guys. Is there anything you're looking forward to for week 2 of the preseason?
I'd like to see. I'm hoping that there's some at least one or two series from the ones on the Patriots, and some consistently good offensive line performances.
Mhm.
Um,
I hope that Aaron Rodgers probably won't even play at all in the preseason. Maybe a series in the last game, but hopefully they start trickling in some of the new guys that we got on offense to get them sort of acclimated a little bit. Like I would love to see maybe a few runs from Rico Dowdle. Um, that's probably just what I'm gonna hope for. And then I think we have a few young offensive linemen as well. So that kind of just goes hand in hand with seeing like how the quarterbacks play as well. So hoping
yeah.
that the young guys just keep on getting acclimated to the system.
So from Brian Schottenheimer himself, no Dallas starters are going to see the field in the preseason at all. Caleb Downs did play a series or two in the first game. But what I really hope to see in the game number 2 is hopefully more development and more touches of the ball for Camden Brown. Obviously, those 2 touchdowns he had the first week were
You're really
phenomenal.
looking
But
forward to him, huh?
dude, I really see something in him. And then, of course, I want to see more than just a series of 2 from Downs. I would like to see him in for at least the first half of this
Mhm.
upcoming preseason game just to get his feet wet.
Yeah, because I know everybody's raving about him. Like he's a high touted rookie, and he should be really good and be a difference maker. Um, and I get it. I get this. I get the caution a lot of the times from teams to hold him, but they don't want him to get hurt in the preseason. But I think it's important to learn the system and get used to the game speed. It's obviously not a regular season game, but get used to the hitting.
Fully agree. That's why I want to see him out there for at least a half.
Hmm. What about you, Ian?
Yeah, no, as far as my Rams, like Ty Simpson, I've seen enough. Sit him down. But
That's
I really wanted
time.
to see who on our receiving core is going to be able to sorry, either in our backfield or in our receiving core who's going to be able to step up. Dean Connors, I'm interested to see how we're going to be able to use him. It looks like he's going to be able to catch the ball out of the backfield, and we've been trying to hand it to him. So I think just trying to get him more of a role and seeing what he can do with it, along with either Stetson Bennett or Ty Simpson. So I'm really looking forward to Dean Connors and seeing if he could put anything together. 5'11", 206.
Yeah.
Um,
Sure.
but yeah, man. I mean, the thing what I wanted to say though is the NFL preseason. It's like it's hard for me to put, no matter how good they do, to put stock in it because they're playing against a dude
100%.
that in 3 months is going to be, hey, I have a DoorDash order for Ian at the local Panda Express. You know what I mean? Like these not, yeah. I don't know. The competition is no bueno for me in
Yeah.
preseason. But that's where you learn, I think, the intricacies of football and how they blow coverages
Absolutely.
and shit like that, which makes it great for the game.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Football, football,
So,
football.
draft night for Steel Reserve and Four Locos is a week from Sunday, so get in Sunday at
Get in
eight
where you
o'clock,
fit in.
8 o'clock Eastern. Um, so looking forward to that.
Yes,
Um,
sir. Ian,
don't
don't
draft
slack.
and friends don't let their friends draft Christian McCaffrey first.
Has the draft order been decided yet? Have you seen?
No, no, it has not
No,
been
because the
decided
league's
yet.
not full yet.
Not
Oh,
even in the league, bro.
We need two more entries to either get Nick in. Josh, you're welcome to get in. Or Sean, somebody. We need two more
Yeah.
guys.
send us out, Justin.
Well, I think I need a towel because I was driving all day. I'm sweaty.
Is that really what you need a towel for?
That's why I'll tell you need a towel for.
And as always, mixed reactions. Fuck Philly.
Billy.